This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody. Wait, where am I looking? I'm looking right here. Welcome, and thank you for joining GOGI PowerUp. Mary, I can hear myself.
I'll have to let you go. Okay.
No, Mary, don't go.
No, I have a call coming in. I got to take this call.
Whatever. Okay. All right. So Mary's going to take that call. And we're doing a video version, so I'm hoping that it records and everybody can see us. Say hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Boston Mayhem in his house.
I got my GOGI
All right. Oh, got yours on. There you go. GOGI for life. Awesome. All right. So we're going to go over the same material that we went over on Monday. We'll go ahead and get started. How's your voice? Can you read?
Yeah, I can read.
Okay. You want to go ahead and open the meeting?
Sure. We call this meeting to order. The purpose of GOGI is to provide simple tools to...
Oh, I can't hear you. What happened? It says caller 3 is talking, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Becca. So weird, I can't hear you. Oh, there you are. The heck?
Oh, yeah. Bell.
That's weird. Okay, so go ahead and try that again.
Yeah, we call this meeting to order. The purpose of GOGI is to provide simple tools to anyone interested in making more positive decisions in their lives. The goal of the PowerUp is to create a purpose and meaning of service for that week. This is where the GOGI gets their power. We power up by living a life of service. Jesus.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So the GOGI tools for positive decision making are boss of my brain, belly breathing, 5-second light switch, positive thoughts, positive words, positive actions, claim responsibility, let go, forgive, what if, reality check, and ultimate freedom. So let's do a quick recap of last week's tool, what was last week's tool? Did you mute? I think you muted yourself again. There you are.
My connection keeps dropping. I don't understand what the hell's going on. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Yeah. What was last week's tool?
Last week's tool was belly breathing.
There you go. Your favorite.
Yes.
Okay. So we learned that in dealing with anxiety, obviously belly breathing is going to be a really good one, right? So what is the proper way to belly breathe? What are the 3 things that we needed to do?
God, you got to ask me this question.
That I stumped you on.
You got to take a big, deep breath. Plant your feet on the floor.
There you go. Plant your feet on the floor, right?
Take a big, deep breath. In through your nose. Push your gut out.
Push your gut out, right? There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we want to balloon out our stomach when we take in the breath, and then we want to pull it back into our spine like that weird cartoon somebody drew without it looking all, all weird and stuff. Oh, cool. But yeah, so basically that's it. And then it does what? What happens when we take that big belly breath?
It gives you more life in your brain, more power in your brain, more energy in your brain.
More oxygen so that we can make better decisions.
Yep.
And is it possible to be in rage mode when we're belly breathing?
No.
Nope. It's impossible to be in rage mode when we're belly breathing because of the fact that it's an instant relaxer.
I've tried it. It doesn't work.
If we're still in rage mode, we're not belly breathing. We're not belly breathing correctly, unfortunately, right? So, okay, so as far as anxiety, it's a really good, belly breathing is considered a what? What does it do to, what does it do in our brain? It's a something that causes us to create a different neural pathway. What does your underwear do when it rides up on you? Gives you a
It gives you a
a
oh,
wedgie.
I know it. Yeah, that. I was gonna say a web.
Yeah, okay, so belly breathing is considered a wedge, right? Because it stops that thought process, creates a different one. So we're creating a new neural pathway.
Yes.
We likened it Monday to like a beaver building a dam, right?
Yeah.
So the beaver, that dam is a wedge and causes that water flow to have to go somewhere else.
Yes.
So
that's a good.
okay,
that's
cool.
a good thought. What is that?
Sorry. Analogy?
Yeah, that. Yep.
Yeah, analogy. I have to have those because I'm really visual, so I need to kind of like put stuff, okay, and to me I can see that damming that stream and all this other kind of crap. So
yeah, that's a really good one for that.
And I just like saying beaver. I don't know why. I love beavers. Okay. So according to the national calendar, students of GOGI are studying the tool of what this week?
5-second light switch.
That's right. Let's see, we are third week in October. 5-second light switch. All right. We'll go ahead and start our reading then. So the statement of ownership for 5-second light switch is, I can flip my 5-second light switch and instantly change any negative thought to a positive action. There is no negative thought more powerful than my positive action when I flip my 5-second light switch. We want to be sure to repeat this week's statement of ownership as often as possible, before we get out of bed, before our meals, during a break, and before sleeping. Write the statement for added emphasis. Your weekly statement of ownership reinforces this week's tool. All right, so what are the weeks to study 5-second light switch?
The third week in January, the third week in April, the third week in July, and the third week in October. I'm sorry, that light switch just looks really weird to me.
The what?
The light switch looks really weird to me right now. I don't know.
Oh, does it? Yeah, it is kind of like, yeah, it is a little bit weird. That's a new one.
I forgot we're being recorded. Let me stop.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're going to say because I can't figure that. It does. Okay, let's keep going. All right, GOGI for life. All right, so keywords for 5-second light switch are old thought, new action. I have an old thought and I have a new action. Okay. Exactly. So our objective for 5-second light switch is, your goal this week is to build a new habit of choosing a new positive action. Every time you have an old negative thought, you can do this by using your 5-second light switch, which is this week's tool. You want to read tool intro for us?
Sure. Here is an example. When you are told, just don't think about smoking a cigarette, what? It seems that all you can think about is the cigarette. When beginning to train your mind to create other thoughts, it is nearly impossible to think that you could simply stop thinking about something that consumed a lot of thinking for a long time. That is why 5-second light switch works. It realizes that your mind has been trained to head down a particular road, almost like autopilot. The GOGI tool 5-second light switch permits you to observe that thought and then replace that thought with a new one, or with a new, more positive and productive action. At any time before you do something negative, you can actually send a new message to a different part of your brain and do something more positive. It's like deciding to turn on an alternate light switch in a room, a more positive switch in your brain. At GOGI, we call this flipping the 5-second light switch. This tool provides you with the power to reroute your brain activity so you are able to be stronger and more positive and be stronger in your positive choices.
Okay. All right. So it gave the example of smoking. So, you know, you went through that process of quitting last year. Or
It was earlier this year.
it was earlier this year, right? Okay. So you had your positive action in place, right? Because
Yeah.
if you were to just tell yourself, can you guys hear that feedback, or is it just me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You know what? I think if maybe you just put it on mute. Oh, you know what? It's fine now, Mary. It's fine. Okay. It's good now. Okay, so you couldn't just say, oh, don't think about smoking, right? Would that have worked?
No, because I'm going to think about it 5 times more if I did that.
Right. So what was your positive action?
Going for a walk.
Going for a walk, right? We discussed that on Monday, how that helps you. Okay, so then we have to have something ready. So we actually can send a new message to a different part of our brain and have something more positive created.
Right.
So they were saying it's like turning on an alternate light switch. And here I have like my GOGI light, but I also have a light here in the hallway. Sometimes I use my GOGI light, but sometimes it's not bright enough, so I'll switch that off and I'll switch this one on. So it's been hard for me to understand that process with this tool, but relating it to that, choosing I don't like this, so I'm now going to do something different, and then I flip that one on. So it's helping me understand it a little bit better. So it's like just flipping a different light switch.
That's
okay.
It's
All
funny
right,
because
so,
when I first started counseling and I was going through all my traumatic experiences, my counselor told me that there was a new thing that it was like a flash technique that you could use to bring all the bad memories from the back of my brain to the front of my brain and then rethink them in another, like have a more positive thought. Like I like going to the beach and looking at the water. So for one of my traumatic experiences, she would like say flash, and I would think about going to the beach and looking at the water instead of remembering that traumatic event. And it worked for a couple of them, but I didn't get to go through all of them yet. So
yeah, wow. See, well, and that's pretty much, you're flipping a light switch. You're choosing something more positive.
Right.
With that, it was choosing a more positive thought instead of an action, but it seems like it's similar to creating a new habit when it comes to that experience.
Right.
Awesome.
So it does work.
All right. That's good. Well, and the big thing about all this is you have to give it time, right? For anything.
Right.
We've got to give it that at least 21 days.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it can set in place.
I simulated a lot to the 5-second light switch because
it's
like you're creating that bad thought. You have that bad thought and you're creating a new thought when at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to get rid of that bad thought and make a new thought or a new positive action or what have you. It's the same, I think.
Yeah, so you're putting in a wedge, right? The wedge is there, and you're creating a different pathway with that new thought, that new, more positive thought. So yeah, it's the same thing. We're still creating like a detour and a new way of thinking about something.
Yep.
Coolio. All right. So how to use 5-second light switch. All right. You can use the 5-second light switch tool when your thoughts seem to be the boss of you. When an urge seems really, really strong, the 5-second light switch is a powerful tool to use. The key to 5-second light switch is to have your replacement action ready. If you have your replacement action ready, you are likely to have great success with 5-second light switch. When a thought enters your mind, instead of letting it take over, notice. I notice my thoughts. Wow, old thought. New action. I have a new action. Your positive action is the key to a successful flipping of the 5-second light switch. If you are able, you can actually go to a light switch where you are, and this will remind you that you are the boss and can flip the switch inside your brain at any time. Okay? So just like we discussed, what do we have to have ready if we want to make this work?
A new positive thought or action.
Right. Right. So we have to have our replacement ready. And then I like the part where you notice your thought. This is where metacognition comes in. Because metacognition is thinking about thinking. So you're actively thinking about what you're thinking. It's almost like stepping outside yourself and looking. So you're going to take that negative thought and you're going to recognize it. You're going to say, oh, look it, this is my old thought. Now I want to go over here and I'm going to take this positive action and I'm going to replace it. And so you're not judging yourself. You're not kicking yourself going, oh, why do I have that old thought? You're just saying, okay, that's an old thought. I'm going to now replace it. So two things. We got to have the replacement, and you have to be aware of that.
Yeah. I think about my thinking all the time, and it drives me insane.
I think it's a good practice. They teach it to kids, and it's supposed to help them learn. But I think you get to know yourself better if you take the time to actually think about what it is you're thinking.
Right.
Instead of like normally just running.
I have too much crap going on in my head to think about all the thoughts I have.
Right? Or you're sitting there going, okay, which voice said what? Okay, wait, what did this voice over here say?
That part,
can you guys all stop speaking at the same time? That's a good one. All right, so let's do this activity. I started putting the activities back where they originally were. I had taken them and thrown them at the end, but there's a reason they're where they are. Coach seemed to want them right here, so I put them back. Okay, so we've done this one before. Here's all our little hands. We need Mary to do one. Trace out your hand, Mary, on a sheet of paper, and you're going to put your 5 reasons to keep you from going back to an old habit or an old thought. Okay?
Get to it, Mary.
Yeah, get to spit spot, Mary. All right, so the activity is that we're going to, step 1 is hold out our hands, and we're going to imagine a poor choice sitting in our hands. A poor choice that came from an old thought. Okay, so Mary, do you want to go first? First thing you do is think of an old thought or a poor choice that you want to stick in your hand.
Okay.
Name it.
I'm going to get in trouble if I name it.
No, you're not. This is a safe place, Mary. This is a place of love and understanding, unless it's about me. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
I wanted to beat
Put it in the hand.
Taylor up.
Oh, okay. You know what? That's not bad. Joanne had her old thought was not wanting to physically abuse somebody also. That was on Monday, so no problem. So Mary doesn't want to physically abuse somebody, okay? That's her old thought because Mary used to be a brawler. All right. Now what I want you to do is I now want you to name. Well, I think we need my 5 reasons you are. Wait, no. We all have to name our thought. Okay, so Rebecca, name your thought. Or whatever it is that you don't want to do.
I'm trying to stop physically abusing somebody as well.
Wow, got some brutal people on tonight. All right. So another physical assault we're trying to avoid. Okay, me? I'm a delicate flower, as we all know. So, I want to. I don't want to use the same one as Monday. Let's think of something else. I would say eat better. We all know that's not going to happen.
Drive slower.
No, I like the way I drive. Okay, no, I want to stop avoiding registering as a drug offender in the city of San Diego, which I was supposed to do back in January when I was put on probation, and I still have not done it.
Ooh, I'm
Supposed to do the last 2 days. I haven't done it. My probation officer knows. So, and I keep putting it off. God, my hand's crimped up. I keep putting it off because I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to say that I'm registered as a drug offender. It's like it doesn't suit me. Okay, but whatever. I'm a convicted. Well, yeah. Well, I'm a convicted felon. It's not going to get much worse. So, that's mine. Okay. So now think of 5 reasons why you are choosing a new positive action. Name each reason out loud or to yourself. You're not allowed to do it to yourself. It has to be out loud so that you can hear the 5 reasons why you want to make a more positive choice. And you can count them on your fingers. So, Mary, what are the 5 reasons you want to not do this bold thought and make a more positive choice? I think it's important to you.
I don't have any right now because I still want to beat her up.
Okay, but Mary, let's work with me, Mary. Rebecca, stop laughing at us. Okay. Let's name 5 things important to you, okay? Robert, let's start with Robert.
Robert's my love.
You want to be able to see Robert, you want to keep being able to visit Robert. Okay, God. Well, God should probably come before Robert, right? So go ahead, keep going.
Okay, you guys are going to have to get back to me because I have to think about this.
Well, okay, Cruz is in there somewhere.
Oh, Cruz is my number 1. Sorry, Robert, but Cruz comes first.
Okay, so we have Cruz, we have God, we have Robert.
No, we have God, Cruz, Robert.
God, Cruz, Robert. Okay, and then maybe freedom because you get locked up, right?
Yeah, but I'll be out and then I'll beat her up again. Yeah, I have to think about this.
Rebecca. Unmute yourself, Rebecca. All right. So I'm going to help you out here, Mary. Freedom. And you're getting way too old for this crap, so you're going to end up breaking a hip maybe, right? Okay. So there's Mary's 5. All right. Rebecca, what are your 5?
Okay, my 5 is because I don't want to hurt this person.
Okay.
I don't want to get locked up. I want to be able to see Michael.
Okay.
That's 3.
I love this person, and she's too little.
And she's too little?
Yeah.
I'm not even going there right now. Okay, you got your 5. All right. My 5 is I'm trying to get early probation release, and I cannot get that if I don't go register as a drug offender. God, I hate just saying that. I want to get off probation. I want to be able to get back into the prisons, which I cannot do unless I get off probation. I don't want to get locked up again for not registering. So my freedom, my kids, and if all of this falls apart, then I lose my job. And believe me, everybody and their dog relies on me monetarily. So those are my 5 for not doing it. For making sure I'm going to go actually register.
Go do it Monday.
I'm going to do it tomorrow. Faux show tomorrow.
Okay. I was going to say Monday, but you said tomorrow. Go ahead.
No, God, no. I've got to do it tomorrow. I can't keep putting it off or, it starts becoming a habit. All right. So now make a fist and imagine squashing that old thought and poor choice with the 5 reasons to make a more positive choice. Okay, so we squashed it. Squash it, Mary.
Okay.
Mary's probably over here like this, scooting off for 5, right? So she can make more room for kicking the full front. Okay, so we squashed it. Okay. So what positive thing can we do right now instead of our old thought?
Toss it.
I'm gonna toss my negative away. Woo, that feels so good. Mary, what'd you do?
I
Put it in the
squashed
pocket.
it.
Mary's gonna be like, I used that fist. All right, so we're letting it all hang loose. We're done with that. Did you get rid of yours, Rebecca?
Yep, I tossed it.
Okay.
Are you sure? You don't sound convincing.
No, she tossed it. She's trying not to be mayhem right now.
Trying.
Okay.
I don't know how well it's gonna work, but we'll see.
Well, keep on doing it. So then it says in my new action, do or think about your positive action. My positive action was tossing it, so it feels good. Okay? One less thing. All right. So we did that. Mary, don't forget, we got lots of paper here. You need to trace your hand and do your 5 things on your own. Now, I can't help you with the homework, okay?
What positive action can you do? Wait. What positive action can you do right now instead? Keep my hands to
Right,
myself.
we threw it away. Yeah,
Oh.
Mary, what are you going to do, Mary?
I squashed it.
Oh, good. I thought you said you squashed her. I must have misunderstood.
Well, I'm going to squash her too, but as
No,
of
you're
right now,
not.
I'm feeling
No,
mellow.
you're not going to squash her. We're
I'm
not.
gonna
We're
try
going
to keep my
to
hands to myself.
Mary, we'll discuss after, okay? We'll discuss over
Hey, Mary,
Yes,
do
coffee.
you need some help? I'll let you know when I'm
Yes.
out there next time, and I'll help you.
Yeah, no, you two, it's a good thing you two live across the country from each other. Because I'd be bailing folks out. I can see it already. I'd be like, belly breathe, guys. Belly breathe. Flip the switch. And you both be like, all right. Positive thoughts. Okay. Review 5 6. Hi, Savina.
Hello.
Hi, Savina.
Hello. I loved your picture of you like all upside down and stuff. That was so cool. I'm gonna have to get one of those and try it. All right, so in case you couldn't tell, we're doing video. We figured we'd try video. Coach says, we have such beautiful women. You should be on video. People like to see pretty faces. Everything's so ooh with Coach. So I actually put makeup on, did my hair, you know. So
These women, I swear to God, they need more class. Not you guys. The people that try to join my group, I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So let's do review 5-second light switch. Mary, can you mute?
Okay.
Please. Thank you. Okay, Savina, can you read review 5-second light switch for us, please?
Sure.
Hey, wait a minute. Is there somebody else on the call that I'm ignoring?
I don't know.
Okay, so here's me talking. Oh, that's me. I'm sorry, because I called in. Never mind. It's me. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Savina.
Well, Mary's number 3. You're number 4. Who's number 5? And then Savina.
You just ran them off. Great.
Oh.
Just kidding.
I did too.
Just kidding.
Shit.
No, okay, go. No, I don't know. Yeah, see? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, next time I just will ignore. I just don't want to ignore people. All right. Okay, go ahead, Savina. Review 5-second light switch.
Okay. 5-second light switch is widely considered the best of the tools by students who claim they are impulsive. Those who claim that sometimes things happen before they even think they had the thought. People with quick minds and even quicker actions enjoy the fact that GOGI does not hammer in the idea that simply stopping the thought is going to work. It oftentimes does not work for the person with a quick mind and an old habit. You can think of your thoughts like a series of overhead lights. Just get to choose which ones you switch on and which ones you ignore. Remember, no one else is the boss of your brain. 5-second light switch can help you build new neural pathways, just like an electrician installs a new election on the brain. Electrician installs a new wire to a light switch.
Okay, cool. No, let's just stop there just real quick. So we kind of discussed this a little bit on Monday, that it's easier sometimes for people that aren't quite as impulsive. Sometimes it's harder for somebody who's impulsive, because the impulsive person, they want to like jump, and so to be able to have to take a step back, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. And there's that point about a series of overhead lights, choosing which switch you want to use and which one you want to ignore. Okay, I'm still trying to hammer that into my head. And then building the new neural pathway, I've kind of got that down. All right. Anybody, any thoughts or questions on that part?
No.
Okie dokie. All right, yeah. Savina, you want to go ahead and read from Coach Taylor, please?
When I get stressed, I just flip my switch. One GOGI student said when he was discussing the GOGI tool called 5-second light switch, he simply remembered that to flip the switch meant that he would do his choice of positive actions within 5 seconds of a negative thought. What a cool way to redirect your energy from the negative. To simply flip the switch and use a 5-second light switch means that regardless of what is going on around you, it's up to you to create the positive response. You no longer need to be controlled by circumstance or the actions of others. With 5-second light switch, you are totally and completely and utterly in control of your life experience. When you arm yourself with GOGI tool called 5-second light switch, you may find that life is not as stressful. You may feel less anxiety or anger. Why is this? Our GOGI students say that just knowing they are in control of their actions and that their reactions takes the pressure off and permits them to enjoy life a little more. Their destiny is not beyond their control. It makes sense. When you are constantly worried about who might say something that gets you upset, it's pretty stressful because you can't control the actions of others. It's natural to move through your day with high levels of anxiety when your experiences are under the control of others. For GOGI students who use their 5-second light switch, however, they do not feel as much tension because they know that regardless of what is going on around them, they have the ultimate decision on their responses. 5-second light switch has been defined by some GOGI students as a neurological wedge they put into place to redirect their brain's processing. They use this wedge to train the brain to respond in a new and more positive manner. The beauty of 5-second light switch is in its simplicity. Within 5 seconds of a negative thought, you choose a positive action. This action could be belly breathing. This action could be turning away. This action could be sitting down or doing sit-ups. In truth, it does not matter what the positive action may be, as long as it is a diversion from a possible negative action, then you flip the switch. Kind of cool that something so simple as 5-second light switch can result in a redirect of a destiny. One bad decision and a future is decided. Similarly, with 5-second light switch, the entire world may become your playground. Flip the switch and see what happens.
Awesome. Okay. Any what are your thoughts
Belly breathing
on
is
what
amazing.
Coach Taylor said?
Belly breathing is amazing.
Right. And what is belly breathing considered?
It's a wedge.
Right. How did we remember what that was called?
What?
I tried to get, earlier when we were talking, I tried to get Rebecca to remember the word wedge, and so I said, what happens when your underwear rides up on you? So there you go. If you ever have to think of wedge, just think of a wedgie. But right, so yeah, so it's and the wedge is used to do what? As I brought out?
To train your brain to make a different response, a more positive decision.
Right? Exactly. So we're damming up, we're the beaver damming up that old way and creating a new flow. A new flow. All right. With smart part in charge, I'm ahead of the flow. That's from my rap. By the way, Coach says everybody needs to learn it, okay? Just saying.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so any of these things could be wedges. What are some of the other ones that it lists?
Sit down, do sit-ups, turn
Sit-ups, that one cracks me.
Turning away, anything you can do. Anything as long as it's not what you're having an issue with, like pounding somebody's face in.
Yeah, and exactly. And Savina, what do you do again?
I invert myself.
She sits
That's why she
down.
That's why she posted that picture, Rebecca, because she gets on her inverter and hangs upside down like a bat.
Dude, I want to do
Pretty darn cool.
I want to do that so bad.
I do too. I'm just always afraid of it collapsing on me.
Well, if it does, then you sue the company and you get megabucks back.
Hey, there's a positive thought. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, so basically anything, dancing, listening to music. For me, music is a big deal. Getting in my car and driving. I love driving. Yeah. So and then music usually comes with that.
Yes.
So yeah, you do have a car now. You can do that. That's right.
But you know what?
Okay.
I think it's really important to have it on the ready, because if you have to stop and think about it, you're just going to fall back into that trap of the negative thought. You just have to have it on the ready. Yeah,
exactly. Whatever it is, push yourself away from your desk. I have actually trained myself now to where I even did it today, where I can actually stop myself and I talk to myself out loud, which is not unusual, but there's times I have to tell myself, okay, knock it off. You're fixating, just get up, walk away. I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk away. So I have this whole conversation, but I walk away. And by the time I get into the kitchen, I feel so much better. So,
that is so me. I'm like, all right, you're going to punch this girl in the face? Yeah. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
You're talking to the evil and the good side, right?
If she don't get the fuck out of my face, yeah, bye.
Oh, all right. Mary usually has evil and more evil. So it's good when she's here because I'm the voice of reason, which is really scary. So, all right. Okay, so using the 5-second light switch, as simple as it is, can result in a redirect of a destiny. That's huge because, right, we all know we've got men inside who one decision and it dictates their whole future. So we don't want to punch people in the face. I mean, we just don't, because it's
I
just
do,
not
but
a good thing to do. And you probably won't get away with it. So
I
just
could.
not good. Well,
They
yeah,
can't, but I
no, you
could.
couldn't. You can never, because you know why? Somebody's always going to know.
If
Just kidding.
if I do what I know I can do, nobody will ever know.
Okay, all right. This is being a recorded call, please. All
I'm
right.
joking.
I know you are. Thoughts from Coach Lee Carlson. Let's see. Mary, do you want to read, or can you not see it? You cannot see it. Okay. All right. So, it's about time my man actually sends me an email. He's in the doghouse. Going to wait till I'm on a meeting. Woo! 5-second light switch. Flippity flip. Let's just flip it.
I want one of them
And
GOGI
flip it
lights.
back
Man.
on. Oh, can you guys see it?
Yeah, I
There
want
it
one.
is. Hi. Yeah, I love it. I love it. They're awesome. I actually have 2 in my car because we're raffling off one this Saturday.
How much are they?
And then one next month. So, all right. Thoughts from Coach Lee Carlson. I'll read that. 5-second light switch is like a little miracle in my life, and it can be in your life as well. Today, because I have 5-second light switch, I am prepared to combat triggers and deal in a healthy way with irritation, anger, or stress. I can evaluate alternative positive actions and get to those alternative actions in order to refrain from reacting in a way that is not my very best. 5-second light switch is helpful for everyone from starting your day off on the right foot to avoiding conflict throughout the day. With your 5-second light switch, you are focused on getting a positive action, and the negative thoughts simply become less powerful. I put 5-second light switch into action when I feel overwhelmed or if my thoughts are not productive. My thoughts are not productive. I give myself positive thoughts which affirm that my goal for the day is to be my very best. Every action I take that day will be positive. Because I have a 5-second light switch, I can flip the switch, get rid of the negative, and get to a positive action. When people are impulsive or reactionary and don't take the time to think about our responses or reactions and measure the possible outcome, changing that behavior can seem nearly impossible, but it is not. You can rewire your brain and you can begin to react differently to situations that have previously caused you harm or harm to others. Harm to others. All right. 5-second light switch in action. Okay. I was reviewing coursework from a student housed on a maximum security prison yard, and he was explaining how he was using the GOGI tool 5-second light switch each day to pay attention to how he reacted to various situations in his environment in a way he believed to be more productive. He shared a particularly interesting story about his interaction with a correctional officer. He was heading out of his building on the way to the yard. He was not looking where he was going and ran straight into a correctional officer heading from the yard into the building where he was housed. He was not sure who he ran into, but admitted that in the past he would have simply fired off at the mouth or worse. In this case, he said he thought of GOGI's tool, 5-second light switch. He paused, stepped back, and looked up to see the correctional officer in front of him. He thought to himself, this could end badly. He smiled and apologized. The officer let him pass, and he proceeded to the yard to get his workout in. He added that the correctional officer apologized to him as well. This is how you take control of your situation. You decide how you react and what actions you take to redirect your life and the course of any situation. Had he immediately reacted like in the past, things would have ended very differently. GOGI for life, Coach Carlson.
I love that.
Okay. I do too.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's why I always like to keep this one in because of it. So what are the 3 things he did?
He
Well, no. 4 things. The first thing he did was,
He paused.
before he even got that in that situation. I'm kind of reaching. He thought about, he obviously he knew his tool, and he had thought about what a positive action would be. Okay, so then what 3 things did he do when this happened?
Paused, stepped back, and looked up to see the correctional officer in front of him. And then he thought to himself, this could end badly. And he smiled and apologized. Right.
So, and I think those are really important, right? He paused, and his pausing was good, but his stepping back was him moving from a defensive posture to one that's not defensive, right? You know, and I think that's an important thing to do so that people don't think you're advancing. If you're stepping back, you're obviously trying to avoid a situation. And he looked up, you know, so obviously he wasn't looking where he was going in the first place, or that wouldn't have happened, but he looked up. So then what did he say? Normally he wouldn't even look up. He would have just popped off at the mouth, or maybe thrown a punch.
The hell out of here.
So,
whatever.
Because like you said, it could have been really bad. And then what does it say the correctional officer did in return?
He apologized as well.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, which okay, that's rare, right, guys? I mean, a lot of times that is rare. Because depending on the mood, you know, I'm glad it went this way, because that just reinforced this tool to this gentleman, and you know, maybe to the CO, if the CO knew he was in GOGI. So pause, step back, look up, and acknowledge who or what it is that's in front of you.
You know what's crazy? Now that Michael's in county, they said one of the COs came up to him while he was walking down the hall or whatever in between the bunks, and he was on his way to his bunk, and he's like, "What are you doing on a top bunk?" And Michael was like, "They put me here." And he was like, "Well, you're too fat to be on a top bunk. You need a bottom bunk." And Michael was like, "Okay, I'll take it."
You know, that's one of those things where you want to be offended, but you really don't, because everybody wants bottom bunk, right?
Yeah. He's 360 pounds and he's on a top bunk. I'm like, what the hell kind of idiot did that?
Oh my God. Wow, I'd be afraid. If I was a dude underneath, right? I'd be worried, because you know how rickety that stuff is.
I'm saying.
Oh my God. It's too bad to be on the top bunk. I thought maybe he was going to say you're too old, right? No, he's like, you're too.
No, he's only 26, but still, like.
He's a big boy.
And he's got bad knees, bad hips, bad ankles, like everything, because he's had surgery since he was little on his lower body.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad he got bottom bunk.
But he's like, I almost punched that CO straight in his mouth. He called me fat. I'm like, babe, I don't think he meant it to offend you. I think he was just saying the obvious. You're fat to be on a top bunk.
Yeah, and I mean, it benefited him, you know? That's great.
I'm like,
he gets bottom bunk now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I had to get a chrono and CCI for that. I'm like, well, obviously you don't have to. Yeah, just take it.
I'm sure his Sally probably thanked the CO after that too, because he was probably like, listen, I was sweating it. Okay.
Thought I was going to die every night you were up there.
I know that was in a movie, and I can't remember which movie it was. I'm pretty sure it was a Chris Farley movie, but Black Sheep or something like that, I think. I can't remember. It was David Spade that got squashed. It was hysterical. All right, so let's go ahead and let's keep on reading this part. And this was taken from the GOGI blog. So this is also from Coach Taylor. Who would like to read this?
I'll read it.
Okay.
5-second light switch is one of those handy tools GOGI students use in many different ways. But the basic concept of the tools used and function remains intact. I need to make this bigger. Hold on. Sorry. For some, flipping the 5-second light switch is as simple as naming off 5 loved one's names. For others, flipping their switch includes reaching for a glass of water. For others, 5-second light switch includes a quick review of why the old choices do not work before moving to a new action. And for others, it's as simple as walking over to a light switch on a wall and turning it on and off a few times as the reminder that a new light is shed on a very old and worn subject. I like that.
I do too.
However, 5-second light switch might work best for you. However, 5-second light switch might work best for you. The concept is pretty simple. When the intrusion of an unwanted urge or thought enters your mind, you simply flip the switch and get to a pre-planned positive action within 5 seconds. It seems to work best when the replacement action is well thought out under many circumstances. For example, you can't reach for a glass of water as your positive action if you get an urge to smoke, unless you have taken that water into the car with you. Having the ability to complete your positive action is key. As without it being very easy to reach for, you might fall victim to the ease of blaming your poor choices on not having an alternative.
Okay, I'll read this next part. Your key is to flip the switch and claim your right to be in command of your mind's and your body's activities. It can be your choice to make a weak or a strong decision when you put to use your 5-second light switch. The great thing about the human mind is that it can run on autopilot for us. The worst thing about the human mind is that it can run on autopilot for us. On which side of the living experience will you choose to spend the most time? That is determined in great part by your willingness to make the strong choices and no longer abdicate your right to a chaos-free life. The more you realize that the chaos is controlled by your strong decisions, the more you will understand the simple, the elegant, the immediately available power of the GOGI tool 5-second light switch. The great thing about life is that you can do anything and all things different today. You do not need to repeat yesterday's choices. True, the old choices may be more comfortable when you hit a repeat button, but flipping your 5-second light switch often enough will permit you to see just how new today really becomes. Okay. I like the whole point that the great thing about the human mind is that it can run on autopilot, but that's also the worst thing, right? So sometimes autopilot is not the best thing for us.
Yeah, no. Not
the best thing for us.
I hate autopilot.
So we can claim our right to be in command. And everything about GOGI is being in charge, right?
Yep. Being the boss of your brain.
Right. And so what does it say here? What do we have to make sure that we have, as was pointed out before?
A replacement action. And one that's well thought out for all the circumstances.
Right. So what's the Savina, what was the illustration it told us about?
Oh, someone, I think they were taking a drive or something. I'm not sure what they were doing.
Well, yeah, this was about taking water with them, or water in the car.
Yeah.
When they got an urge to smoke, they could take a drink, right?
That was it. Yeah.
But if they don't have the water in the car, then they don't have their action.
Right.
They'll go back to their negative action.
Right. And then this is me, they fall victim to the ease of blaming your poor choice on not having alternatives, right? I had to eat that Big Mac because I didn't bring any lunch with me. Right? So
Big Mac's away.
that's, we all know it's crap, but it's what we do. All right, so we didn't get to cover this on Monday. Let's cover this. Was this a GOGI challenge? This was out of, I can't remember. I think this must have been out of the How to GOGI book. But a GOGI challenge. This is one that was wrote in. So my name is Hube Smith, and if there's anyone who doubts that GOGI works, here is my challenge. When I first challenged the GOGI tool, 5-second light switch, I couldn't say a complete sentence without using profanity. So I felt my language was a worthy opponent to test this GOGI tool. See, I had to fix that. Okay, to me, 5-second light switch is simple. Old thought, new action. Here's how I explain it. Once you catch yourself with the old thought, by the count of 5, do a pre-planned new action. Here is how I use the GOGI tool 5-second light switch in my GOGI challenge. When I'd be talking to someone and I'd cuss, I'd start to count and snap my fingers twice. After a few days, I'd snap my fingers before the cuss words would come out. Slowly but surely, I stopped snapping my fingers, and I was choosing more positive words to get an idea across. People asked me what I was doing, and I explained it. To my amazement, I noticed others snapping their fingers too. I rarely cuss now, and it's all due to a simple challenge to prove that the GOGI tools work. Here's a very simple truth. I realized that by doing a simple challenge, I took the first step to a better life. If I can be GOGI, then anyone can. GOGI for life, your GOGI brother, Herbert Hube Smith.
I like cussing.
Okay? I like cussing. So, I think maybe I need to reread this though, because I tried to remember this today, I couldn't. When I'd be talking about it, I'd start counting 1, 2, 3, and snap my fingers twice. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all right. Okay, I can do that. After a few days, I'd snap my fingers before cussing, and then okay, all right, I can do that. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that starting right now.
Michael yells at
Not
me
tomorrow,
all the
like
time.
my diets. I'm gonna start right now.
Stop in front of my kids. Stop. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck out of here.
Rebecca! All right. So we could use this for anything. Not just cussing, but we could use it for anything. Mary, didn't we try this once? And while we running around cussing and snapping our fingers in the car? That's sombreros, right? So there was a bunch of us cussing up a storm, but snapping our fingers at the same time. It didn't work. So, but I was newer to GOGI then, so we'll try it now. But yeah, we were all walking around snapping our fingers. People thought we were nuts. But I liked the part where he said after a few days that he saw other people snapping. I think that's just, I don't know. That's like, so he didn't even have to say anything. He just started snapping them. Right? And people would, what are you doing? That's a great way. Act like a freak, and people are a crazy person, and people will say, what are you doing? Why are you like that? And you can say, it's because of GOGI, right? So I'm going to try that tomorrow. I'm going to snap up a storm just so people ask me what I'm doing. All right. So, okay. I'll report back on that challenge. Okay, so the science behind the tool. All right. I liked this. So who wants to read this first page?
I guess it would be me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Freeway traffic is easily diverted. It is easier to redirect on a freeway than to stop traffic altogether. The neurology of your body is similar to traffic on a freeway. If you want cars to travel down a different road, you are going to have to put up a roadblock to move traffic in the desired direction. You need to be persistent in swapping the thought. Eventually, the traffic will get the idea that the old freeway is not going to be traveled. When you break an old habit, you actually create an alternative neurological pathway or freeway of communication inside your body. Permitting the old thought to exist for 5 full seconds, unconsciously replacing it with another thought is like diverting traffic instead of trying to stop it head on. Stopping an entire freeway of traffic is not easy, but getting drivers to take a new off-ramp is more effective because it is less stressful, demanding, causes fewer collisions, and promotes a smoother transition. Remember, space plus data plus shift equals change. Now, I majored in engineering, and I never saw that before. Change sometimes takes a while. Remember that sometimes lasting change happens slowly. That may take a long time, especially when we break or change old habits by replacing them with new ways of thinking, behaving, or believing. Sometimes, that should be maybe, change is slow that we don't even know what is happening. Trust the process and just keep moving forward. Usually those who are consistent with slow and steady changes are more successful of maintaining those changes over time. They keep moving forward even if they mess up and are likely to be happier and more successful in the long haul. When an individual constantly moves toward new ways of thinking and being, it's likely the changes will last for a long time. The process of change is actually predictable. When data or information is available, the process of change begins. When there is enough space for the information to grow into new ideas and new thoughts, then the process of change continues with the shift. When the change happens and it is sustained for a long enough period to form a habit within the body, the process of change has completed its cycle. Everyone can change how they think, how they act, how they react, how they feel. The space plus data plus shift equals change equation describes the process. Keep going.
Well, let's stop there just real quick. So, okay. So I like the illustration of the freeway, right?
Yeah.
Because we all know, especially in California, trying to stop traffic is hard, is difficult. But like if you give somebody an off ramp or a different way to go, a detour, then it's going to be much easier, right? So that's a good illustration. I feel like I'm going to cough. Hold on.
I hate the 405.
Oh, the 405 is a nightmare. It's got to be the worst. So diverting traffic is better than trying to stop it head on, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so the shift data plus space plus data plus shift equals change. I actually put this on the group as a question for somebody to explain. And I still don't have it. So who can explain that?
Well, she explained it down here when I was reading that.
Right.
I don't know the space part. Let's see. When there's enough space for information to grow into new ideas. So I guess that's when you're doing something that you don't want to do, you create the space, putting a new, like the guy snapping his fingers.
Right. Right. So I think the space is your ability to analyze, and then
the data is
give yourself the time or the space to replace it, right?
Yeah. And the data is the information available. The process of change begins. And then,
now, she explained that up here, right? Didn't she say that up here somewhere too? Drivers and especially if we break. Okay, wait. Process.
She did explain it all. I was reading it, but I didn't catch it as I was reading. I was trying to
I thought that it was somewhere. I guess not. I thought that it was somewhere up here too. That she explained it before. Okay, so I guess not. So maybe it was just this part. So data or information is available. So the data or the information is going to be our old thoughts, our bad habit, right? Okay, and then the space is our ability to pause, look at that bad habit, and then take our new reaction new action, right? Okay. And then new ideas and new thoughts, okay. Then the process of change continues with a shift. Continues with a shift. So then once we apply that new action, we've now shifted, and then the change happens if we can keep that shift going for, like 21 days or so to get that new habit formed. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So space plus data plus shift. But see, and what threw me though is space is first here, but then down here data is first.
Yeah.
But up here it's data. The space shift. I guess it really doesn't matter. It's kind of like, are we going to be positive, productive, or powerful first? No, it doesn't matter. We got to have our data first.
Data, space, shift, and change.
Yeah, you have to have the data first because you have to know what you're doing wrong. So you have to
you have to have you have to have the data first. So maybe I need to go in and just redo these words here because seriously, that's so little, but it messed me up.
Was that Monica?
It messed me up, but it did. Huh?
Was that Monica?
Did you say Monica? No. Is Monica here? Monica?
I thought I heard her. My bad.
Monica?
I really thought I heard her. Maybe I'm missing her.
I think she is. Oh no, that's me. Okay, I'm 3. So we do. Oh, Mary's 4. So yeah, it's not Monica.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then, as we jump down here, okay. So we'll go over this again. Then, so gather your information, your data. Hey, look, old thought, right? Give yourself room inside your head, and with your actions, give yourself the room inside your head, and with your actions for it. Inside your head and with your actions for it to have a positive effect. Okay. That's our space. Give yourself room inside your head and with your actions for it to have a positive effect. Okay, I don't understand that. We just need to give ourselves some space in our head, right?
Yeah,
and our positive change. Okay.
With all these extra people in my head, how is that going to happen?
Well, it doesn't have to be an extra person, just a positive action. And that action could be removing one of those people from your head. Okay?
Yeah.
One of those voices.
They're paying
All right,
high rent
so
up here.
you will eventually shift and get the change you long to experience. Sustain that change you long to experience. Sustain that change long enough, and you will have a new automatic habit. And then what did we learn with Boss of Our Brain? What did we learn? So once something becomes habit, it goes from where to where?
The front to the
Smart
back.
part.
I don't know.
Right.
Oh,
Because we
that
no
part.
longer have to use the smart part. It's now a habit. Okay, so, okay.
But doesn't it go
So
through the emotional
basically,
part too?
it jumps right over that emotional part.
Okay.
You don't get to pass go, no $200, just goes right over to the back. But that's a cool thing to think about, is that as we're going through our 21 days or however long it takes, we're using our smart part, right? Every time we're repeating that, we're using our smart part until we're then on a good autopilot in the back of the head. Okay. All right, so then one step at a time, changing one habit, one way of thinking at a time will permit you to master your changes in small doses. Focus on wiring one room at a time instead of trying to rewire an entire house all at once. People often become, do you guys notice how I changed that? Because it said women. Joy, caught that. Yeah, so people often become over enthusiastic. They set high expectations and suddenly become overwhelmed. That is so me right there. I'm like all or nothing. They get irritated and blame an ineffective process for their failure. Some people claim that they are different and have tried everything, or they simply say, I just can't change. That's just the way I am. Perhaps they do not want to change in the first place. Ding, ding, ding. That's usually what it is. Here's why the light switch works. 5-second light switch works because most people have a difficult time stopping or often have an easier experience replacing. The 5-second light switch is a wedge placed in the current flow of neurons that sends information down another more productive path.
Mm-hmm.
Ask a child to stop a behavior and it is likely they will continue. Their focus is on the undesirable behavior. They don't know what to do as a replacement for it or how to promote positive actions. When you divert a child's attention by offering an alternative, you are stopping the undesirable behavior. I love that part because it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Observe others. Take a few moments today to speak less. I had a hard time even saying that. What? Speak less?
What does
God.
that mean?
Yeah, right? Observing the habits of others is usually easier if you keep your own thoughts silent. You can begin to witness their automatic reactions. That was Monica, right? Was that Monica? Yes, it is. I was going to say, we're hearing voices all of a sudden. Oh, okay. So you would, where was I? Where was I? Silent. Okay. Keep your own thoughts silent. See, I just can't get through this whole not talking bit. You can begin to witness their automatic reactions and automatic behaviors. You might observe them abdicating their ability to create the kind of life they want. Then you will see how powerless they truly have become. I took out that repeat sentence, Savina. It was like that thing was in there like 3 times. Okay, you will see how powerless they truly have become. You will see that for all their posturing and tough girl talk, tough people talk, they are really at the mercy of situation and others around them. Okay. How would you use a 5-second light switch if you were suffering from old patterns of behavior of others that continue day after day? What new habit would you create as a replacement? How would you use a 5-second light switch if you were suffering from old patterns of behavior of others that continue day after day? What new habit would you create as a replacement? Okay. So I think we would have to probably figure out what the old patterns were. All right, so last paragraph says, also observe yourself. When could you begin to use the new 5-second light switch as a tool to get you back in the driver's seat of your life? Try the 5-second light switch in one specific area of your life. Test it out long enough to let it work. Maybe you can pick one person and begin to build an alternate response patter, I think there needs to be an N there, to their predictable communication. By the way, the 5-second light switch helps enormously when two of the most powerful automatic habits to which people give up their power: drug addiction and compulsive thoughts. Okay. Welcome, Monica.
Mon.
Hi.
Okay, so what is...
You're making me almost killing myself on the road here.
Okay.
Yeah, pay attention.
I
All
know,
right,
you're just
so
so
who was
loud
this?
in my car.
I'm loud?
Yeah, well, because I
That's
have to
not
turn my speaker in my car, and it's just
Oh.
louder than my computer at home.
No.
That's
Who wants
okay.
to explain to Mon what data plus space plus shift equals changes?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Savina, don't you have the engineering degree?
Wow.
You want to scroll back up and I'll do it?
Oh, that's funny.
Okay,
If I have to
right
do
here.
it without looking, I won't be able to. Okay. So data or the information is available to process, so the process of change can begin.
Okay, so what's
And
our
then
data?
The
What's
data
the data?
the data is our old habit.
Okay, or thought, right? Okay. So
then
data equals old habit. Okay, so go ahead
the
with the next
the
one.
space is where that old habit resides, basically, right?
Well, so we have the old habit, and then there has to be enough space for the new
change.
for information to grow into new ideas and new thoughts. So
Okay.
we have to give ourselves the space, which is what we need to be able to get our new action, right?
Okay.
So
And
we have to
then
give ourselves enough space to get to that new action.
the shift.
Okay.
Confusing part.
The shift is changing from the old habit to the new habit.
Right.
And then the shift is also if you continually use that new action or habit for a 21-day period, the change can take place.
Right. Exactly. Right. So then we
So
got
our
the
new-
data, old
So our
habit.
neurotransmitters will change the pathway, the neural
Right.
pathway.
Right. Right. So yeah, exactly. So we got the old habit that comes up, and then what? Like in our picture, what is, I can't remember what that's called. That comes down the neuron and activates the neurotransmitters to then move down to release. You know, to open up their little pods and release, and then they drop into the synapse, and then are caught by those little things on the other side, right?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that whole thing, right? So, okay, so old data, old habit, space where we say, wow, look, old habit. And then we say, look, I have a new action, new positive action. So there's our space. And then once we do that, and then that then creates the shift. Beaver dams up one part of the river, and that creates a shift over here. And if we do that enough, that shift is going to create the change that will then become habit that moves it from the smart part to the back of the head. Give me 5 minutes, I'm going to forget all of that.
I love you.
I'm telling you right now, you want to know how we're going to learn this? Schoolhouse Rock. I'm telling you,
God.
we need to put this to music. We
I don't
need
even
to
know
put
that
this
movie.
to music. You've never seen, no, you never watched Schoolhouse Rock when you were little?
No, she's
Girl, I'm
young.
sending them to you.
She's young.
You need to, I know, but you need to have your daughter watch them.
I'm
My granddaughter
36.
watches them. They're, oh my God, they're awesome. Yeah.
No, I'm
But
38.
it
My
basically
bad. I'm
helps you
sorry.
memorize.
Jesus.
Yeah, by putting it to music, right?
38. Yeah. 38. I just
Okay.
said I was 36. 38.
All right, I'm going to send them to you. Okay, so basically, with as far as, you know, how can we, now let's just bring this all back to anxiety. How can 5-second light switch help us deal with anxiety?
I say because when you're thinking about negative or old habits or things that you want to change for the better, it typically gets your anxiety going. And when you do make that change for the better, it can subside that anxiety that you do have.
Okay, so if you feel yourself starting to feel that tightening in your chest, and you could tell you're breathing, and you start to get a little clammy or whatever, you feel yourself going into that anxious state,
Positive
what do we
thoughts.
need to have ready?
Positive
Action.
positive data dump.
Action, right? So an actual action, so that we're physically doing something to kick us out of that fixation, right? So our positive. So if we're prone to anxiety, we need to kind of have something. We're going to get up and walk to get a drink of water. We're going to do something that snaps us out of our fixation.
Snap my
And
fingers.
as we do that, or maybe we start to free, right? Maybe we snap, right?
Get an elastic band
Maybe
and
we
put it
start
on
to
your
go,
wrist.
oh, mother, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then after a while, we don't have to say that anymore.
Pop a rubber band on your wrist.
Yes.
Pop a rubber band on your wrist?
Yes, that works.
Really? Doesn't that just make you anxious and in pain?
No,
No,
because
not if it's
you
one of
know.
those balls of my brain new bracelets you have.
Girl, I can't even get one of those around my big Flintstone hand, okay? I mean, Coach is petite. They need to have like a plus size of those things. I was like, I put it halfway on and the circulation cut off right about there. But all y'all petite people can probably get one out. Okay, but I guess I can see that. Do that. Okay. That might work.
Pull your hair out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Pull your hair out. No. Here we go. And then let's look at this picture again. I love this picture. This has got to be Hulk. I mean, come on. It's got to be Hulk. So this is probably his Avenger days. Yeah. Isn't that cool? This whole thing just flips on or off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Off, on. And here's his little gauge thing right here. And he can just flip that switch. I think that is the coolest thing in the world.
That is neat.
All right. Okay. All right. So any final thoughts?
No, I learned a lot tonight, though. That's cool.
Yeah, I was saying on Monday, this is the first time that this is really sinking in, because I have not really used this tool that much, and probably because I'm reactionary and I've never been able to have my replacement. But now I'm like, I get up and I walk away.
Yeah.
I talk to myself and tell myself, okay, get up and walk away, and it works. So, all right.
Yes, I'm very reactionary too.
Are you guys looking at each other?
Yes. Well, me and
Kinda.
Tara.
Yeah. Hi. You can watch it. I'm going to put it on. Oh, Mon, just by the way, I was telling everybody else we have a blooper episode Remember the meeting where I kept stopping and starting recording again because I was messing up?
Yeah.
Well, when I uploaded it and listened to it, the whole thing was recorded. Everything we said, me saying we're going to stop, stopping, and it keeps saying it's now being recorded. It's not being recorded. It's now. So I just left it up. That's our blooper reel. It was great.
Oh,
All right. Hey, Mon, since you know the pledge by heart, would you like to lead us in the pledge, please?
Okay. Repeat after me. May our commitment
May our
commitment
to the study of GOGI
to the study of
GOGI
grant us the joy
grant us
the joy
of giving and receiving
of
giving and receiving,
so that our
inner
freedom
so that our
inner freedom
may be of maximum service
may be of maximum
service
to those we love
to those
we love
and infinite others.
and infinite others.
Thank you. We invite you to join us for our next meeting to be held on Monday the 22nd, where we will study the GOGI tool.
Positive.
Positive
What is it?
words. Nope. Positive thoughts.
No? Positive thoughts. Right. Positive thoughts.
Right. Yes.
I love that one. Yay! All right. So as we look at our PowerUp Phoenix, let's do our 1, 2, 3 GOGI for life. And now I get to see if Rebecca actually is putting her fist in the air when we do it.
I am right here.
1, 2, 3. GOGI for life.
GOGI for life.
Mary, Rebecca, thank
I
you.
might do it
Please
next
flip
time,
that switch. Don't abuse anybody the rest of the week. That would be great.
Love you
All
guys.
right.
Good night.
Love you guys. Talk later. Bye.
Bye.